All right, we are here at the Cosmopolitan in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada for IPL 4, and I am talking to Scott Smith, otherwise known as Sir Scoots, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the Evil Geniuses gaming organization. Scott, thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure.
All right, Scott, so what can you tell me about Evil Geniuses? How obviously, you guys are one of the biggest names in the foreigner scene for esports.
Yeah, we're a long-standing professional gaming organization, spawning multiple game titles. So we're not just a StarCraft team. We've got fighters, we've got a Dota 2 team, we've got some Quakers still, some Counter-Strikers, kind of hoping that game maybe comes back. So been around since the mid-'90s, kind of building the scene long before we had a big fan base of people like coming to events like this. It was just a lot of players and their very immediate friends and family kind of traveling around. And I think we're one of the teams that is pushing the marketing kind of media forefront on how this new generation of teams needs to operate as a profitable business.
Well, awesome. How are you feeling? Obviously, we're not in the tournament this weekend anymore, but how have you felt about the tournament as a whole?
I mean, I think the tournament, first off, I think it's the hardest StarCraft 2 tournament to date. Nothing against Codas, GSLs. It's a different kind of format. It's spread out over a very long time. You know who your opponent's going to be. You know what maps you're going to play, and to an extent, this is a weekend whirlwind of, again, I think the best StarCrafters on the planet, save Thorzane's not here, DRG's not here, guys like Sake, Naniwa's not here, but for the most part, the big hitters, both foreigners and Korea, are here. So, that being said, great field, but we're obviously disappointed that we don't have any players playing today. The only saving grace is most of our guys got beat by really, really good players. So it doesn't really help you sleep much better at night, but at least if you know you didn't get cheesed, you didn't get beat by too many unknown randoms, and like you lost to someone who, in maybe your own mind as a player, is better than you. It helps coat the wound a little bit, right? But again, you win this tournament, you're then going to be deemed like possibly the best player on the planet. So, again, we're a pro gaming organization. We're here to win and compete, and we're not doing that today. So we're us, management-wise, player-wise, fan-wise, I'm pretty sure we're all disappointed.
Well, obviously, going forward, you're going to be probably making some adjustments. How do you see going forward with esports, with StarCraft? Future, we've got Heart of the Swarm coming out.
Yeah, I think in general the whole pro gaming space is just getting bigger and better, and StarCraft in particular is continuing to grow. Heart of the Swarm is going to hopefully not break the game and even bring in maybe a bunch of people that didn't buy the first version, and this grabs them and brings them into our world. I don't think Blizzard will screw it up to the point where it divides and scares our current fan base or player base away. So hopefully it only adds to that. And I think, again, you've got this is IPL's second major tournament, so they're learning, getting bigger and better. MLG's got a great format for this upcoming season. Extreme Masters, all the tournaments we go to, the DreamHacks and everything, are all doing bigger and better stuff. And that's our playing field. That's our stadium. So as long as they keep doing their thing, it gives us these great venues to go and try to take all their money. and again, to your early question, like, we won't go home from this and make any drastic roster changes. You can't. Right. You look at who lost to who and why they lost, and you try to fix those things. But like, no one is going to lose their job, so to speak, over these losses. And again, because it's the field that they competed against. It's kind of unfortunate when. A side story, when we all heard that like GSTL was going to have their finals here, a whole bunch of fans were incredibly excited, but all of us went, oh man, that means 8, 10, 14 more Koreans that probably wouldn't have got on an airplane for their team, and because they don't travel as much, right? And those guys don't get a lot of airtime in foreigner events, but they're all fantastic pro gamers, right? So none of us were excited about that. It's like, oh no, that you just made it even harder for us, right? We hope for steady growth, and for us, we just keep, making our partners and sponsors happy, and we keep knocking on doors and adding them, and so that's our goal.
What do you think the future for StarCraft 2 holds now that apparently we're going to be getting a lot of the Brood War guys moving over?
Well, yeah, it goes right up there with the GSTL coming. It's like great for fans, great for the scene, but man, it's going to make it even harder. harder for foreigners to win for sure. And again, we actually have two Koreans on our team, so we're not a foreigner only team, and a couple of our foreigners live in Korea. But I think overarchingly, it's a very cool thing when Flash, Jae-Dong, these kind of guys are like Visu, or like there's these rumor mills, or that the shift is going to happen. I think it's going to be an overarching positive thing, but man, it just makes it harder.
It really does.
Yeah. But then again, if you can compete against them, now that whole debate goes away, right? Like, well, the Brood War guys are still way better at this game, even though it's a different version. So let's get them all on the same table, right? Let's see who wins.
Absolutely. Well, do you have any shout-outs today or anything you want to?
No, and just in general to all our fans, evilgeniuses.net. You can check out all our sponsors there, all our players. Obviously, we wouldn't be an organization without players. It's what we are. And our management team, I end up getting a lot of camera time because I'm an older, more gregarious, outspoken guy, and I've been in esports forever. But I probably do the least amount of heavy lifting as this company grows. From Alex Garfield, our CEO, who basically this is his team. He took this thing from a Canadian-only Counter-Strike team years ago to a powerhouse. And Colin and Brandon, who do our biz dev, and Cody, who's here as our general manager, who basically is really the one that makes sure the players have what they need or doing what they need. He is a linchpin to what we do. I can't walk into a booth and go, hey, on this particular map, Polt's going to do this, this, and this, and that's Cody as a player. He's an analyst. So he can get inside their head in a different way. I can walk in and go, hey, man, shake it off. Do you need some water? Right? I'm not that guy. If I started giving them StarCraft strategies, they would all kind of look at me and go, okay, Scott, you can just go ahead and leave the booth, right? Again, I think a lot of the credit that maybe isn't deserved as the guy of EG, because I am not. And even behind our management team, you have 10 or so staff that do website stuff, do video stuff. Anna Prosser does stuff for us. So, I just happen to be in this spotlight because that's my role. But it takes a whole bunch of people to run EG. And again, that my biggest shout out would be to them and the fans and our players. And as I say it, I do this podcast every week called Live on 3, and my end thing is always, if you don't have to like EG, if you don't like our players, whoever you do like, whatever website, whatever content, if they sell stuff, if they're sponsored, tell the sponsors are doing a great job, buy their shirts. At the end of the day, I'd love you to buy our shirt and our mouse pad and stuff, but if you're a Team Liquid fan, then support the hell out of them. Do all you can for their sponsors or any other team, because again, the sponsors listen to that. It's not just corporate suits in a boardroom that just give a bunch of money to marketing, this stuff, and then not care about the feedback. So when people tweet our sponsors or anyone in sponsors say, hey, thank you, In Control told me about the Siberians, I love them, it works. It is real viral. Our marketing guys at these companies will go, oh my God, my Twitter blew up today, and so your voice as a fan is incredibly well heard. Traditional sports, probably not so much, right? You're not gonna, hey, thanks for having Kobe on your team, Los Angeles Lakers, I'm a fan. That stuff doesn't happen in the real world, right? It's still happening here, and it's very effective. So that's my shout out. Just whoever you like, whoever's doing right by you as a fan, support the hell out of them.